Sigma guitar, take 1. Hello YouTube, the moment is finally here. I have been looking for this guitar for so long, and I know you have been too if you clicked on this video because of the title. Finally, a budget version of the OMJM, John Mayer's signature O Orchestra Model, which retails at 5,000 euros. I know I still need to finish the concert video, but well, this just came in and I wanted to stay ahead of the curve because as far as I know, no one is actually talking about this guitar yet. Also, it was just released like 4 days ago and it's still not very easy to find. There was actually only one store in Holland selling it, Guitars and Beans. Thanks Guitars and Beans for sending me over this guitar. I mean, I bought it, but it's not. This video is in no way sponsored, neither by Guitars and Beans or by Sigma. I knew this guitar was being released and I actually reached out to Sigma and asked if they were interested in sponsoring a video of mine, but they were not. So yeah, my opinion about this guitar is in no way tainted by them. This was also the only guitar in the store, so it's sold out already now in this whole country. And I think there were only like a handful of stores I could find that sold this guitar in the UK, including Anerton's. But lucky for me, also they have not made a video about this yet, because apparently even they don't see why this guitar is so special. Why this is exactly I will cover in a little bit, but first I want to talk about the company Sigma. Believe me, it's also relevant for why this is the most accurate OMJM alternative at the moment and ever. Because Sigma was a company that was actually created by C.F. Martin himself to produce budget versions of Martin guitars that were then made in Japan. But in 2007, Sigma was sold to the German company AMI that relaunched the brand and removed the production to China. But the fact that the company was initiated by Martin himself would suggest that the company and the guitars they produced then and still do now are quite similar, or maybe even almost identical to the well-known Martin models. So in that aspect, I don't think you can really get any closer to a Martin O than from this brand. I mean, they literally have the blueprint for Martin guitars and have had it and produced them for like 50 years. So fast forward to the OMJM, produced 20 years ago. That's why Martin and John just released the 20th anniversary version. So sick looking with the gray burst finish, but quite unaffordable for most non-professional musicians and probably most professional musicians as well. But what makes that OMJM so special? I hear you asking. Couldn't you just play like some random O style guitar to sound like John Mayer? Well, yeah, of course you could. But it wouldn't play the same as an OMJM, and that's because one of the defining features of the OMJM is that it has a slimmer neck. Slimmer than most O guitars because it has a width at the nut of 42.9 centimeters or 1/11/16 of an inch. Inches are crazy. As opposed to 44.5 centimeters or 1/3 of an inch of, for instance, a Martin O 28 popular Martin models. On top of that, the body sides and back are of solid Indian rosewood, where mahogany seems to be the more offered choice in this category. Believe me, this is the only O solid rosewood guitar with a solid spruce top and a 42.9 centimeter or 1/11/16 of an inch nut width. Please prove me wrong in the comments, but I feel quite confident about this claim because I have obsessively been searching for it rings out so long. I think you really hear the solid back and sides. I'm not really a very good acoustic player, as you probably already hear, but I would like to get better. I mostly play electric, but I've been struggling always with playing acoustics because a lot of acoustic guitars actually have a really fat neck, and I just really don't like that. I mean, I don't necessarily have super small hands, I think, but I don't know, I don't like the feeling of a thick neck in my hand. So I've had quite a few different acoustic guitars through the years. Never really found one that played comfortably and sounded like I wanted it to sound, because I've always really enjoyed the sound of a O. I've also been a very big fan of Bare Naked Ladies, and Ed Robertson is also very well known for playing a O by Larrivee, the L3 or something, I forgot. But it was like a smaller body than a Dreadnought, but the only way I can describe the sound is as it being kind of round. A narrower neck is also relevant for playing John Mayer and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix type stuff because, well, they play a lot with their thumbs, right? If I look at the specs of the two guitars side by side, this being the Sigma S000R-1, I think I haven't actually mentioned the name before in this video. The acronym stands for the S being solid. The back and sides are of solid rosewood. Many cheap guitars nowadays are made of a laminate, which is wood compressed, recycled wood, which is obviously more sustainable. But I've listened to the difference now a few times, and yeah, I really, really hear the difference. I think a laminate sounds much more, yeah, how would you call it? Thinner. It just sounds thinner. Maybe I haven't played any good laminate guitars, but there's just a different ring to a solid wood guitar. It's just, I mean, Just listen to this, it just rings on forever. Man, this guitar sounds really beautiful. To be honest, I haven't played a lot of high-end acoustics, so I wouldn't really know what to compare it with. But just out of the box, like, I got this guitar today and I've been playing it quite a bit today. This most definitely is the best sounding guitar that I have ever played. I have owned another acoustic guitar that is, I would say, in the same price range as this one. And also, if I look at the construction and how it feels, definitely has the same quality league, I think, which is the PRS Angelus. I believe that was also a solid rosewood back and sides. Was it? I think it was. I think it was also solid rosewood back and sides, and so the body construction was the same. But I've tried quite a few PRSs, and most PRSs, actually, besides the Silver Sky, have really fat necks. And I mean, it can be fat in this way, but fat and wide. And that guitar was super fat and wide, and it really, I just couldn't play it. So it's actually quite funny that someone like John Mayer, who's known for having such big hands and thumbs, that he makes all these weird grips, but his signature guitars are actually much slimmer than most. So that's actually kind of weird, because you would think that it would be less comfortable for him to play a smaller neck because his hands are already so big, but I don't know. I'm glad he does, because this neck is super comfy to me. It just feels like an electric. Yeah, it feels almost the same. It might be exactly the same. I don't know exactly what that. Okay, the Silver Sky might be just a little bit slimmer even, but I mean, but yeah, it's just so, oh man, it's so comfy. It sounds so good. Listen to this. What else can I say about it? Oh yeah, I'm also going to talk about the specs. So this one, as well as the OMJM, both have a body size 000 and 14 frets. They both have a dovetail neck joint. I don't actually really know what that means. Is this the neck joint? Is this a dovetail? Sorry, they obviously both have solid Indian rosewood backs and sides. The neck on this one, according to the specs on the site, Sigma site, is mahogany low profile. The OMJM also is a low profile neck, but the wood used for the OMJM, according to Martin, is select hardwood, which usually comes down to either mahogany or Spanish cedar. I think that depends on what they're what's in stock. So what's also really great and really premium about this guitar is that the nut and saddle are both actual bone, cow bone, that is, I think. Why does that matter? Bone carries the tone in a different way. It resonates in a different way than plastic, and probably also tusk. The saddle on the OMJM is tusk though, which is said to produce a brighter tone. Tusk is, I believe, a composition of wood or organic matter, of vegan organic matter, I believe. Because, I mean, bone, this is like actual bone. It's from a cow. This guitar is not vegan. The fingerboard and bridge on the OMJM are ebony, where this is something that's called micarta. I had to look it up, but it's also a composition of organic matter. I have to say that this fingerboard feels super smooth. I actually really like it. This is, I think, the first time I've ever encountered micarta, but I like it. It's just so smooth. It's crazy smooth. Plays really nice. It feels great. Also, micarta, being a composite material, is obviously more sustainable than ebony. Difference in tone, I don't really know if, I mean, of course, the entire guitar resonates, but if it really matters that the fingerboard and the bridge are not of solid wood, I don't know. The scale length on this one, just like on the OMJM, is 25.4 inches or 645 millimeters, which is a different scale length than, for instance, the Martin 00028, like the Eric Clapton model. Then most importantly, the nut width on both guitars, obvious again, is 42.9 millimeters or 1/11/16 of an inch. Another difference is the tuning machines, where the OMJM has like open, like vintage style nickel open gear. This has closed die-cast tuners. I would think that the vintage styles tuners, which are open, get dirty a lot easier because, I mean, stuff gets in the tuners, you know. I can't really imagine what kind of tonal advantage tuners like that would have. Both have a high gloss finish, which up until now I never really liked actually, but this really like this finish actually. Because it's high gloss, but it's not too much or something. I mean, and the grain is just beautiful. The grain's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so one of the big differences in specs between this one and the OMJM is that this is a Sitka spruce and that the OMJM has a solid Engelmann spruce. Engelmann is more expensive, partly because the supply of it is less. They say it's a lighter and less stiff variety of Sitka. It has stronger overtones and weaker fundamentals. Don't even know what that means. An Engelmann top typically has less headroom and its sound can suffer a little when played loudly. Engelmann is a good choice for players who want a more complex sound when playing softly, says someone who knows about this shit. Yeah, sure. I think this Sitka spruce sounds amazing. And Sitka spruce is one of the most used tops, I think, for this type guitar. The neck, apart from being very comfortable because of the width, is also really, it's not really a satin finish, but it's definitely less glossy than the rest of the body. I think it's just an absolutely beautiful looking guitar. The grain on the glossy parts is just so nice. There's not too much bling on it. The inlays are very subtle. I don't know if these are if it's actual mother of pearl, or probably not. It has nice binding. All the details are very well finished. I don't see any like flaws on it, or the work's been done very well. I think the quality control on this instrument is amazing. I really have nothing to, yeah, there's absolutely nothing to complain about. The whole guitar looks flawless. And I'm really glad about that, because one of the things that really has been bothering me for quite a long time, also in relation to Acronym, by the way, the clothing brand I wear, that moved some of its production to China at some point. Something being made in China really doesn't say anything about the quality of it. Obviously, a lot of companies move their production to China to cut in costs. I mean, the ethics of that is a whole different discussion, but I'm just talking about the quality here. If the company stands for the quality of the product, then that same quality can be achieved in any country. It's not like people in China are less able to produce quality than people in Western Europe or America. That's because nowadays almost everything is made in China. Also your iPhone and So I think the China quality discussion really needs to stop. Anyway, based on my experience with this guitar, I can say Sigma has a immaculate quality control on their instruments made in China. And I'm going to enjoy this guitar very much. I'm going to play some more. I really enjoy playing this. But it's night. I need to go to sleep. I need to stop playing now. I'm gonna play again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this guitar. Is it something you would get to? Have you been waiting for an OMJM budget version as long as I have? If you have, do check it out. I really love it already. I'm probably gonna do another video about it in a while after I've played it some more and have had some more experience with the guitar. I mean, things can change over time, right? But right now, it's just amazing. It looks amazing, plays amazing, sounds amazing. It's not cheap, but under 1K, having a guitar in this quality is absolutely amazing. So stay tuned for the second part of my previous video on the John Mayer concert. Really, the best parts are still to come. I wasn't able to finish it because it's just getting so long. He actually played my favorite song, Covered in Rain. To me, that just made the concert. But you'll see that next video. So stay tuned.